Sometimes you're all alone, but you want to play board games. What do you do then?
You play these board games.
I don't need nobody.
In this video, we're gonna pick 12 different board games that work perfectly well playing solo in 6 different categories.
We're gonna do it in a very unique way. We are going to draft them.
And whenever a game is drafted, it can never be drafted again.
So we're gonna run out soon.
Very soon.
The first category is going to be a small box game. Something you can just easily take with you whenever you go a trip, on an airplane, or, wherever.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Oh, where's the champagne? So my pick is Orchard. Janis actually hasn't played it. So.
I haven't heard of it.
Oh,
What is this game?
Pick 2 cards and try to add them together so different trees overlap in the same color. And whenever you hit the same color, you add points for it. Add dice on top of it. And the more trees you can kind of combo together, the more and more points you get. It's unique because it's super small and quick. And I love it.
My pick for the small game is Friday, a game based on the book Robinson Crusoe. This one's a solo deck building game. Start out with a small deck that has a ton of bad cards, and you're trying to get rid of those cards so you can, fight off pirates, not starve, and all kinds of different things. But all in itself is just a small deck building game where you're trying to optimize your deck. If you actually get rid of the box, there's just basically a deck of cards. It's really, really nice.
Is it Robinson Crusoe or Crusoe or how?
Crusoe, I think.
Crusoe?
I think it's French.
It's Crusoe. All right. The more you know.
Oh, Crusoe. Next category is the best story solo game. Is that a full name of that? Well, mine's gonna be Fallout. Fallout is not necessarily a solo game, but when you play solo, it works perfectly fine. There's nobody else there. It feels like there's a story, even though it's not a game you would necessarily call a story-driven game. But there's quite a bit of story, and since I'm a big fan of the video games as well, I felt it translates very well. Fallout is a post-apocalyptic. For those who don't know, Fallout is a post-apocalyptic video game series onto which this board game is based. You're just playing a character who's trying to survive in this weird world. And the board game tries to simulate that. You're walking around, you're completing quests, you're fighting mutants, and, just trying to survive.
Mine is super story-driven game. Most of it is story, and it's House of Danger. It's a cooperative adventure game, and I found it's best with 1 or max 2 players. You don't want to play it with more people. And it's actually like reading a book. You go into this story to solve this mystery here. It has 5 scenarios that go together with...
So they're like a mini campaign?
It's a mini campaign.
How long does one session take, do you think?
It was around an hour, I think.
Oh, okay. Fairly quick.
You can luckily just go through it really
get the
quickly.
correct places, correct items just on the first try.
Spoiler alert, I didn't, and I fell in a pit and died. So that can happen.
The next category is the best solo war game.
So my pick for the war game is Zulu. It's a war game about being in a siege, and it's based on real history. Huge event that actually happened where British soldiers were protecting this, let's call it fortress, from invaders, which were Zulu. You win if you hold long enough for reinforcements to come and help you out, but the problem is that there's a lot of soldiers coming at you. I think you can start with this one and see if siege games is something you would enjoy if you haven't tried it already.
My pick, Field Commander Alexander. There's a series called Field Commander, and there's Field Commander Rommel, Field Commander Napoleon, and this one's Alexander, based on the battles of, or should I say campaign, where Alexander the Great is conquering different lands. You just take one board, and there are like 4 boards, and each of the boards is like one campaign. But it doesn't take too long to play. So you're trying to invade the whole territories, or maybe there's some other objectives you have to accomplish along the way, and if you do, you win, or if you don't, well, So in a way, there's like 4 mini games in one, because there's 4 boards. I found it quite thematic with all the events that can happen and things, and the way you fight, it hit all the right spots. So that's the one favorite from those series and my favorite solo war game.
It sounds the best as well. Field Commander Alexander. Playing games solo is freaking awesome, but even awesomer is having company. And you can find company right here in our channel Board Game Hangover, so please subscribe.
Don't go, stay with us. The best heavy solo game. Well, mine's heavy both in actual weight and
Alright.
actual rules, and that's Kingdom Death Monsters, a story-driven, and I think it's called boss fighter game. There's a genre now where basically one session is divided into 3 parts. First part is you do the story encounter thing where you encounter different kind of story elements, by the end of which you're trying to find the monster to fight. And then you fight the actual monster on a board, and if you win, you move on to the third part, which is the settlement development, where you use the parts you got from the monster to build new buildings, to equip villagers, and so on. And that's it. I don't know anything else about this game. The story of the game is that you play these people who don't remember anything. They wake up and you're attacked by this huge lion. That's just how the game starts. And if you lose this encounter and the lion kills you, that's over. You're done with this campaign. And it is a very big and expensive game. It costs like $400. So all in all, fantastic game. This could have been in the story category as well for me, but it's just epically big.
I thought that somebody has to take the bullet.
Which game will that be?
So all of our viewers can stop saying, hey, where's this game? It is the top-rated board game of all time right now.
What?
Which is Gloomhaven.
No way. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it made it onto our list finally.
Yeah, it finally did. But it is the top-rated game in Board Game Geek for a reason. It's really brilliant design. You have your basic character that you kind of level up from each round. Each level is completely different, so there's a lot of stuff for you to explore and do. And each game will be very unique. But it's great for solo as well. Almost always it's like defeat these monsters or get to that place without dying. Find these treasures there. But it's a really grand game that works really well.
This is actually a fan service, right? You're just, giving it to them, so... Yeah, okay.
That also, but
Of course, I got it.
It is a good game.
Nudge, wink.
All right.
Next category is Best Solo Euro Game.
You already know what I'm picking.
I know.
Because recently I received, finally in my mail, Terraforming Mars, the card game, and I absolutely love it. If you have played the Terraforming Mars, the big version, then this one is just that without anything extra. With few things changed, but the main engine building and all that is still there, and it is awesome. To win this card game, you have to score at least 50 points or something like that. There's like a point threshold that you need to overcome, and of course you're always competing against your own high scores. For those who haven't played Terraforming Mars, you are a person that's sent to Mars by these corporations to terraform Mars, draw cards and build the best engine by buying these cards and putting in front of you. The most efficient player will win because he gets the most victory points. It's very unique for me, at least, because it's the only game that gets me that satisfactory of I have built this thing and it always works. It's always fascinating for me, and you win or lose, you just feel good.
My Euro solo game is going to be Le Havre. I'm on the French names.
Le Havre.
Le Havre. Le Havre is a port in France which loads and unloads the ships. So you're going to be sending your workers out to get resources, to build buildings that you can use to get better resources. And you will have to feed your workers. A sequel of sorts to Agricola. The pressure, from that game where you're always like, I need that, so I hope nobody goes there. And I also have to feed my family. Kind of translates into this game. So why I like this solo better? Because nobody else can see me squirm that I don't have enough food to feed my workers. So, it's just me and my shame. And the last category for this solo draft is going to be the wild card. My pick for the wild card for the solo game draft is going to be B29 Super Fortress.
All right.
That's the name.
Sounds wild.
That's actually an airplane that was used, I don't think it's used anymore, to bomb things. So it happens during the World War II, and you're playing the commander of this B-29 Super Fortress. They're flying to their objective, hopefully, sometimes you might not make it, and trying to bomb it and get back safely. This actually is more of a simulation than a game. There are decisions you make. For example, the first decision I ever regretted after the first time I played this was naming all the crew members of my in the names of my friends. missions because not all of them made it. Because my first mission was a total failure. I ran out of gas midway back. You put in guns, you put in crew, and then you're flying and you have to make decisions. And the results of those decisions are just basically you rolling dice and seeing what the result is. So in a way, that's a simulation. I mean, you can't plan ahead. Try to do the best you can, outfit it, but still the other things are gonna go totally wrong and you're not gonna make it like I did and most of my friends. So don't name, your first crew in the name of your close friends.
Yeah, that's a dumb idea. Who would think of that?
Yeah. Really.
My wild card is Ratcatcher. Have you played it?
Okay. Are you naming real games? This draft or Orchard, Ratcatcher? What is?
Yeah, Ratcatcher.
No, I did not know this game. I never heard of it. What is this?
Ratcatcher is a fantastic little game where you try to find cheese before rats do, and you fight rat bosses and monsters. I would actually call it like a mini Gloomhaven, but not
This
really.
doesn't sound like a real game. Is
Yeah,
this real?
it is real. In this universe, people have invented amazing magic cheese, which gives people like special powers a bit, but also really attracts rats. And now the city is overrun by rats, and the cheese gets scattered around the whole city, and you try to find it before the rats do, because if the rats do it first, then you lose the game and it's all bad. Every time you get cheese, you can upgrade your powers and get stronger and stronger.
Not a real game.
It is.
No. Is this what, 1st April special?
My favorite thing about this game is the look of the cheese. It really looks magical. Imagine magical cheese. That's how it looks.
Well, I guess that's it for this draft.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like this video.
Tell us which solo games we missed. Some of those might be in other draft videos, so check those out. See you next time, and thank you for watching.
Yeah, see ya.